Hey everybody, this is week 2 of our Joseph lesson. So last week we talked about Joseph and his coat of many colors. And do you remember what happened? So his brothers stripped him of his coat and they put him in a hole. And they decided ultimately to sell him. So they sold him. And he was working for a man named Potiphar. So he got to know Potiphar pretty well, and he let Joseph work in his house. So he was working in his house with some other servants. And Potiphar's wife, we're going to be talking a lot about Potiphar's wife today. So Potiphar's wife, she kept asking Joseph to pretend to be her husband. She's like, Joseph, please, I want you to pretend to be my husband. I want you to lay down with me. That's what she kept telling him. I want you to lay down with me. And Joseph kept saying, no, I don't want to do that because I know that that's not the right thing to do. God would not want me to do that. So, after he said no a whole bunch of times, Potiphar's wife got upset. So one time, there was nobody in the house. Nobody. Sorry about that. So there's nobody in the house. And Potiphar's wife once again went to Joseph and said, Joseph, I want you to lay down with me. I want you to pretend to be my husband. And he said no. And she grabbed the clothes that he was wearing and said, you will come lay down with me. And Joseph said no. And he ran away. Well, when he ran outside and ran away, his clothes, his shirt that he was wearing, it came off in Potiphar's wife's hand. So she started yelling and screaming. She says, Joseph tried to lay down with me. He tried to pretend to be my husband. He kept doing all of these things. Now, when Potiphar came home, Potiphar's wife told him all of this. Now, do you think that Potiphar believed his wife, or do you think he believed Joseph? He believed his wife, even though that was a lie. So Potiphar's wife said, look, I have his shirt here. He tried to take off his clothes. He wanted to lay down with me. He wanted to be my husband. And Potiphar's wife said, well, that is the end of Joseph. So Potiphar put Joseph in jail. Joseph was put in jail for something that he didn't even do, right? Something that he didn't even do. But he knew that since he did the right thing, that God would take care of him. And he does. Now, Joseph stayed in prison for 13 years. 13 years. It's a really, really long time to stay in prison. But next week, we'll talk about how Joseph gets out of prison and what happens while he's in prison. So, go ahead and join me next week so we can keep talking about Joseph. And we're going to be talking about some dreams that he interprets. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll see you guys later.